We are back here on Mistakes and Mistakes. Back in the saddle again on this bad cover series. So, this one's on 311's Lovesong. And I was thinking about this earlier off camera before I really sat down and broke these two songs down. One of the things I've learned over time from doing this list, because I thought there's 3 videos deleted off my musical felonies list, so I gotta really get into this bad cover songs to make up for the 3 deleted videos. There's a musical felonies playlist on this channel, and 3 of the videos on it are deleted. So you could put bad cover songs under musical felonies, but musical felonies is kind of a different deal. So musical felonies was the idea of songs that should not have been touched. Probably going to go back and revisit that since the 3 videos are gone and come back to that. But bad cover songs has kind of been a different deal. So there's a thin line between a good cover song and a bad cover song. Good cover songs, and all cover songs are starting out with the same premise, that you have a band, usually a well-known band, that will take someone else's song, like another well-known artist's song, put their spin on it, and put it on a record. What happens is that you get mixed results, because it really depends on who's covering what song. Sometimes the artist does not match the work. For example, there are a bunch of bands that have covered, it's one of probably the 30 most covered songs in the world, so you can't always get what you want, by the Stones. Ituna does an amazing cover of that song, but it's about the arrangement, it's about her voice, and it's about giving you the background of the song and kind of the basis of the song without really messing the song up, without really trying to change it into something that you can't even recognize. So this gets me to 311 and The Cure. So I go back and listen to The Cure. Lovesong's an iconic song. It's one of those songs that in the 80s, if you were a kid growing up, you couldn't get away from the song. It's off an amazing record. I don't even think Lovesong is even the best song on that record, ironically. But that's probably a whole. If I start doing retrospectives on records, which I think I'm gonna end up doing on my other channel, on the main channel, which I do a lot of history of music stuff. I'll probably go over love songs. I've been meaning to go over albums that are 30 years old, for example, but we'll get to that. But one of the things about Lovesong that's kind of iconic is the hook. So the hook in that song, it comes about, that song you have to, and this really almost should be like a history thing, but so it comes that song and that album come in the middle of the rise of new wave. It's like, from about 80 to about 86-ish, there are these 3 or 4 genres that are kind of battling it out, dominating the music scenes. You have your top 40 pop with Springsteen and Tina Turner and Michael Jackson. New wave kind of has a rise. New wave, which ends up becoming postmodern, which ends up becoming alternative, with REM and the B-52s and The Cure. Well, the hook at this time, synth pop was a big deal, and the synthesizer was basically the new instrument, and that's that hook. That's an iconic hook. So when you hear it, you know what it is, you know what it sounds like, you know what you're getting. The guitar in the original version of the song is very sparse. It's The Cure does a really good job of being a unheralded, at times, minimalist band, where they do a lot with the spaces in songs to make other instruments sound more full. So, and in this song, the synth is kind of dominant, but the bass line that gives you a good feel for the song, kind of ties the song together. The drums are really good in this song, and those 2 instruments do a good job of here's the meat of the song. The guitar in that song kind of does Peter Buck style, which I really need to do like a whole video on how Peter Buck kind of, and there are other guys that have done it, how Peter Buck really changed the way modern music sounds by basically replacing the the guitar solo or the solo in general, and coming up with a technique that really ties songs together and makes songs, especially for his own band, a much tighter sounding song. And the Cure's guitarist kind of follows in that sort of vein. But as far as Robert Smith's vocals, it's a straight up vocal. There's nothing extra to it. It's just Robert being classic Robert Smith. Awesome. We know what we're getting. Then you turn on 311. And 311 kind of is what they are. They're kind of this, I want to be a reggae kind of dance hall vibe, and I get it. For the stuff that they do, it works. The problem that they do is, and I don't think I really realized it till I got older, but B, I started listening to some of these songs. What 311 does is they do a lot of, it's like a bad hamburger. I'm gonna make this analogy. I'm gonna ride this analogy out to the end of the stuff. So, you got your bun. This is not like a weather analogy either. So you got your bun at the bottom, which is basically your drums. You have your, depending on how you want to make your hamburger, you got the meat of your song, which is your bass player. And those two things come to make a good song. You got a good burger at the bottom. If you want to put lettuce, tomato, and cheese, depending on how your band goes, then your band adds those things to it. And then you top off your burger with a good hook. Because it's gotta be presentable, it's gotta be, you get the sizzle, right? So the problem with 311's version is they take the iconic synthesizer hook in this song and they try to do it with a guitar. And at first listen, it doesn't sound bad because you're like, oh, well, you kind of do this half solo thing and that's nice. And then you realize that it sounds tinny. Like it sounds like there's a distinct difference between plucking a string on a guitar and hammering a string on a keyboard, which is essentially what you're doing. But synthesizers ultimately fake that sound. So that's fine. But it sounds tinny. But that isn't even what ruins the song. That isn't even what messes it up. What really messes the song up is the vocal. Because I think the bass player does an excellent job. I like the rearrangement of the bass and how doing it kind of off time from the drummer, that works for me, especially with them really trying to bring a dance hall feel to the song. But the song did not need all this extra reverb or the echo. And he sings it so, I've sung flat before. I get the flat sound. If your band is going to augment you, or if you don't have a real voice, I get it. And his flat sound that's what they do. That's what they do. But it's a situation where the artist and what they do doesn't meet with the song and what it does, and you get a train wreck. Like I didn't think it was going to be that bad, and so then I go and listen to Adele's cover of this song. And Adele, the arrangement's entirely different. Their arrangement's closer to the original version of the song, but she has a whole band, and they're not relying on the synthesizer. They do kind of more of a keyboard thing. And Adele's voice is it's Adele. So you're getting a whole different treatment of the song. And her cover isn't bad. It's not an all-time great cover. It's like not iconic or anything, but it's good. And it fits the record that it's on. So you're like, okay, well, the context works. And so you're like, wait a minute. And it's kind of an epiphany for me on this song that it really isn't just about how bad an artist does a song. It is a lot of times what happens when you get a bad cover is that the artist and what they particularly do, whatever their wheelhouse is, does not meet the wheelhouse for the song. And so you get some interesting covers, and you get sometimes these artists not on their game. The problem with the 311 cover is they're legitimately trying. Like this is what they meant to do this way, and it just didn't work out. Oof. It is when you put it back to back up against the original. It's a rough listen. It really is. So that's the back cover song for on this one, 311, doing Lovesong. This went a little longer than I normally do, but it's not that bad. So we're gonna try to do another one. If you find another bad cover song, you want to throw it at me, so I give you my take and break it down. Over here on Mistakes and Mistakes, this is what we do. So I will see you on the flip side.